Hey guys, today we're talking about the Troll and Orc starting area in Durotar of Valley of the Trials. So this is 1 to 6 and we're going to talk about how you can get ahead of the pack. So we pick up Cutting Teeth and we head out to start killing boars. Now the main goal in the Valley of Trials, since there are so many people in this starting area, is to just try and get the bottleneck quests out of the way. So that is Sarkoth, the Scorpion, and also Lazy Peons. Those quests can slow people down quite a bit, so right away we head right to that quest. Even though Sarkoth the Scorpion is level 4, we easily can kill him at level 1. It's not a big deal. So I'm just pooling a little bit of rage here, and then we go in right on him and kill him. This way, we don't have to worry about waiting there for a respawn or, grouping up with people. Get this quest out of the way right away. Obviously, if anyone's around in that location, feel free to invite them to a group so you can get that done faster. At this point, we're basically just making our way back to the village, killing boars along the way. Obviously, with high population, also trying to do all these quests, you probably will have to go a little bit out of your way to find some of these boars, but the main goal was to get Sarkoth killed and done right away. So obviously, if you finish the boar quest before you get back to camp and you come across any boars, feel free to kill them. The XP is nice. You probably won't have that under starting conditions just with such a high population. So we're turning these quests in, accepting the new ones, and equipping our rewards. Make sure that you sell. Always sell when you're back in town. So now we're just going around collecting the other quests for Vile Familiars and the apples, and also getting some training from our warrior. Now, this is important. We want to pick up the peon quest and start working on that. That is our main goal, followed by completing the other quests as we go. So as you can see, I'm moving around the outside of Valley of Trials as the peons are to the outside. You can also get some down towards the south, but I always just go north because there's a lot of apples along the way, scorpions, and then also I can make my way up north to the Vile Familiars. So the one quest that you can skip if you need to is the Scorpion quest. The Scorpion quest on beta actually tends to drop these Scorpion tails much less frequently than they do on private servers and whatnot. So you do have to kill a considerably larger amount of Scorpions than you do on private servers. So just keep that in mind if you're having a really hard time killing Scorpions and finding enough of them, then you can always skip that quest. A big tip for Vile Familiars is if there's people in the area, make sure you group up. There's nothing that you need to collect off the Vile Familiars, and you have to kill quite a few of them, 12 to be exact. So if there's people in the area, it just behooves you to group up with them and try and get that done as quick as possible, because there tends to be quite a lot of people up in this area trying to kill them, and there's a limited amount. So as we move around the Valley of Trials, one thing that I can suggest is, especially if you're a melee class, always be moving with your mobs. You always want to be working in a positive direction towards objectives. So if you're killing something and you're not, taking that time to move closer to the next mob that you're going to kill, or the next objective that you're going to be picking up, you're just wasting time. Kiting mobs, especially at the very beginning of the game, is a very, very good strategy to increase your leveling time. And one thing that I've explained in other speed leveling examples that I've given in the past is that classic WoW isn't linear with levels. So even if you do a lot to cut down your speed, say from your first few levels where you're killing boars and you're going to do the Scorpion quest for Sarkoth, the one thing that you'll notice is even if you're blisteringly fast, people will start to kind of catch up to you in a sense where they're in the same area. So since you have to kill 12 Vile Familiars, even if you're way out front of the pack, those lower level characters are going to start getting up to where they're on that quest now, but they're at the very beginning of it, say. Or there's some people that are going to try and just grind. So they'll move over to the north right away to go to the cave and to kill familiars. So one thing that you need to do at that point is just group up. So at this point we are hearthing back, and we are going to turn in all our quests, get training, and vendor items in our inventory. I've said this before, but in the closed beta, there was very few 6-slot bags that would drop. It was very rare for you to see a bag, so you need to be cognizant of inventory management and making sure that you're always selling. So at this point, we are heading north with our 2 quests that we need to do in the cave. You can see that this warrior is now using a one-handed axe. The one-handed axe is actually better DPS than the two-handed axe that you start out with. So make sure you equip this, even though I know a lot of people think two-handed is better than one-handed when you don't dual wield, but in this case the DPS is actually greater. So when we're now entering the cave, and we're basically killing all mobs that we come across. Again, this will vary completely on how many people are in there. You might have smooth sailing all the way back to the back of the cave to do that quest. But as you can see right now, we are having a lot of mobs. So just make sure you kill those and you make your way to the right. You're basically going to go up an incline to the right until you get all the way back up to the orc. So not much to say here. Just again, if your inventory starts to fill up, especially on the beta, a lot of grays, cloth, leather, mail items were dropping, and they sell for very little. So if you're getting stacks of, ruined pelts and things from these fellstalkers, make sure you always prioritize picking up those in your inventory, as they sell for a lot more copper. And you really, especially on like a class like a warrior, you really want to have enough silver going into level 6 to be able to buy your two-handed white axe from the vendor in Senjen village. So just keep that in mind, as it's very important to make sure you have enough copper at this level. Okay, so we want to be careful with this guy. I always try and pull the at least one of the Vile Familiars back. But you do have to be careful, because you can die on this if you're not careful. As you can see, I got fairly low. So at this point, you could turn around and run all the way back out towards the front of the cave. But I always choose to just drop down here, and then I'll make my way to the middle of the cave where we pick up the pick for the other portion of the quest. Now, one thing that is very common in these guides is like a tactical death, where you basically let mobs kill you so you can have an easier time getting back to say in this instance Valley of the Trials, so you can resurrect there and you'll be right there to turn in your quests. Now, in testing this, I have found that if you actually res towards the back or the rear of the cave, so more to the north, you can actually, if you're so close to the north of the cave, you can actually get resed in Razor Hill, and this was on the beta as well. So that is something you really need to be careful of. And if you do a tactical death, make sure you're towards the front of the cave a little bit more, or just go ahead and use the unstuck feature. As you can see, I'm sitting there to get the crits, so I die a little faster. And then at this point, we basically are done with the starting area. All we need to do is turn in these 2 quests, sell all our stuff, and if you want to, you can get training here if you hit level 6. If not, we will be making our way to Razor Hill after stopping in Senjen village, so we'll be level 6 by then. Alright guys, that was the starting zone in under 30 minutes. Obviously this is under perfect conditions, so your time is probably going to vary quite a bit come launch. However, that being said, I truly believe if you follow this route that you'll have the best time, as you get lazy peons out of the way, and you also get Sarkroth out of the way very early, which those can be bottleneck quests for the troll and orc starting area. So hopefully that was helpful, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.